Hello everyone, welcome again to Cinema Analytics. Today we're going to look at movies so far from 2018, and we're going to look at the profits of those movies. And we're going to start off today with the top box office earner for the year domestically, and that is Black Panther. And we're going to look at how much Disney paid to produce and promote and advertise the movie, also known as P&A. We're going to look at the figures domestically as well as overseas, the foreign cost to distribute and market the movie. And we're going to use a data model based upon the profits of Black Panther and apply them to other movies that have come out this year. So what we're looking at right here is that we have Black Panther that's selected. It was released 2016, February 16, 2018, and a reported production cost of about $200 million. There are reports that Disney spent a total of $150 million to market the movie and to distribute it. And we can see that here it's broken down by domestic and foreign. The domestic cost to P&A, this is estimated, is $100 million, whereas for foreign P&A, only $50 million. And so the total combined is $150 million in promotion, advertising, and distribution. And we have a domestic gross of over 700 million. It just went over 700 million just a few days ago. And of that, it's estimated that the studio took about 60% for 420. And as far as foreign cost and revenue, like I said, just said, 50 million in P&A and distribution for the overseas market, and a revenue of 291 million. So that yields a profit of 241 for overseas and 120 million here in the US. And you can see that here in the graphs, that the domestic profit after you apply the production costs as well as P&A and distribution is 120 million. And overseas, where you do not have, of course, the production costs going against it, a profit of 241 million. Combined together, that's a profit of 361 million. So again, the way that we get this 361 million, which by the way is a figure that was given by Variety on Disney's profits on the movie, and this amount has been echoed elsewhere as well. We get the 361 million by taking the total box office, domestic and foreign, and we're applying the studio's take. Domestically, it's 60%, and foreign is 45%, and we're also, of course, subtracting from the total box office the cost of production and also to promote and to advertise the movie. So 361 million. And we're going to use this model on other movies. So let's go ahead and go to our next film, and that would be Infinity War. Now, the cost for Infinity War, I've seen estimates up to 450 million. And if that was the case, then using this model, Disney is seeing a total profit of about 234 million. The almost 700 million to 675 million that the movie has made so far domestically is not enough to offset the cost of production and marketing and distributing the film. It's only when we get to the overseas markets, the revenue from there, because we're not applying the production costs. We still have to apply the foreign P&A, marketing and distribution, but even after you remove that, it's still $500 million in profit, which gives us a total profit for the studio of $234 million. Now, like I said, that's if you're going by the $450 million. If this is a case where the $450 million is for Avengers 4 and for Avengers 5, or at least a good portion of Avengers 5, then we may want to reduce this significantly down to about 250 million. And you can see there that the profits would absolutely balloon just for Infinity War, for Avengers 4. So let's go on to our next movie, and that's going to be Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. And Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom has a estimated budget of 180 million. And again, applying this model, I call it the Black Panther model, we can see that the film, it's still earning a pretty good sum here in the US. And you can see that just in the US alone, it's enough to almost have a profit, have a profit without applying the profits from overseas. So it's only 25 million in the negative. And once we apply the overseas profits using this model of 340 million, that gives us a total studio profit of about 315 million. Our next film, Deadpool 2. Deadpool 2 is very interesting because it is a blockbuster tentpole film, but its production cost is only 110 million. Now, given that, it's very likely that their P&A was much higher than 82 million total. I'm quite certain that that Ryan Reynolds and Fox spent more than 55 million on domestic marketing and distribution. But just to keep everything consistent, we're applying the same model here to look at profits. And you can see that using that model, they have a nice 25 million profit, almost 26 million profit domestically alone. And so anything after that, anything that they make overseas is just going to be gravy. And so 185 million. Yeah, if this model is correct, that is an incredible profit. Especially based upon 110 million investment in production. So very well done there. And the next film we're going to look at will be Ready Player One. And Ready Player One has a estimated budget of 175 million. And we can see straight off that it's going to be, even using this model, this optimistic model, it's a loss for Warner Brothers here, up to about 25 million. Now, one thing to keep in mind here is that, all of these films, they're going to go on and, into other media channels, Blu-ray and streaming, all the other available media channels where the studios can, get some revenue and earn profits. So if Warner Brothers is able to, earn 25 million off of streaming and Blu-ray sales within the next few months, it's going to come out as a wash. That's if this model is correct. If it's not, and they spent more in P&A and distribution, well, then it's not going to see a profit for the foreseeable future. We'll go on to the next film, and that is Ant-Man and the Wasp. And Ant-Man and the Wasp, the budget for this movie, it's hard to find a consistent figure. I've read anywhere between 160 to 190 million. So I'm just going to go with 170 million. And applying this model, we see that based upon just the domestic earnings, it's 135 million in the whole. So it's really going to have to perform very well overseas, particularly in China, where it has yet to open up. And so right now, it looks like Disney is down 75 million. And I doubt it's going to be able to make up this deficit with the, I think China, Japan are the two major markets that are only ones left. It's going to be a tough going to try to make up from that. All right, and next is Rampage. Rampage has a estimated budget of about 120 million. And again, applying this model, it's barely profitable. And you can see if we apply the production costs and P&A to the domestic against the domestic box office, we're 120 million in the whole. Overseas is where this movie, if it was going to make any profit from its theatrical release, it was going to have to be overseas, and almost there using this model. And once again, I can't say it enough. If this model is correct, then yeah, about 3 million is, looks like it's going to make about 3 million. Okay, so what shall we look at next? Solo. Solo, a Star Wars story. With a projected budget of about 250 million. Ouch. And you can see domestically, well into the hole, 250 million in the hole. And the overseas market certainly did not bail this movie out. We see only a 17 million profit from overseas, which gives us a total of 200, just about 230 million, negative 230 million that Disney is going to lose on this property. And again, that's using what I think is a optimistic data model. So you look at this, and let's look at one other Disney property, and that's A Wrinkle in Time. All right, and A Wrinkle in Time, 103 million. And once again, we can see that domestically, it didn't earn enough to pay for its production costs and P&A, and overseas, the movie fell flat. Disney's in the hole for 105 million here. And you can see there's a little trend here where you can see that while Disney has stellar profits on movies like Black Panther and Infinity War, they fall pretty flat. They're pretty much washed away by the losses on Solo and A Wrinkle in Time, and I would say most likely Ant-Man and the Wasp also. So all of the profits they made from Black Panther and Infinity War are offset by the losses by Solo, A Wrinkle in Time, and Ant-Man and the Wasp. Thank goodness they have Incredible 2, or else I think that their stock would be down when they present their next quarterly conference call. let's see, what else can we look at? Let's look at a movie like 50 Shades Freed, which earned production cost was $55 million. Production cost $55 million. It earned $100 million domestically. Overseas, it made $270 million. It did pretty well. It came fairly close to covering its production costs and P&A and distribution on the domestic side. Did very well overseas. So a very nice profit of $85 million. And we'll look at A Quiet Place. This film cost $13 million. And using the Black Panther model, you can see that even domestically, it not only paid for itself, of course, but $93 million profit domestically, and very nice foreign profit. This is one of the few films I think that you would find on this presentation where the domestic profit was greater than the foreign profit. So $155 million. Now, let me go ahead and change this data model a bit while we're on A Quiet Place. Given the fact that the movie only cost $13 million and it became a pretty big hit, I would suspect that the studio would increase the advertising. So here it's probably more. I would venture that it's probably equal to, about 150% of the budget. And even when we apply that 150% of the budget, you can see that the profit is still astronomical. And we can do the same thing for foreign P&A and distribution. We can increase the cost, and still in this astronomical profit. So that's a few films. As always, this presentation, this Tableau report will be uploaded to Tableau Public. So if you want to choose any other films and play around with any of the parameters, you can. Just check out the right below the video, and you should see in the description, you should see a link to the report on Tableau Public. And that's it for now. If you have any comments, please leave them below. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe.